What's going on, everybody? So I wanted to make a post here, a quick video. I made a post recently that I said the leading cause of obesity in this world is food addiction. Okay, so I wanted to address that a bit more because, just to sort of qualify, I used to weigh 300 pounds and, I lost a good, now I'm about 160 pounds. And so, you could say that I sort of made it out. I was in it and I made it out of this whole obesity thing. And so, looking from that perspective, I'm hearing a lot of things today that, in my opinion, is wrong and it's killing people. That's the bottom line. It's absolutely killing people. What I'm talking about is so in today's world, yeah, we are embracing all walks of life, regardless of race, creed, or gender. And certain communities may have their issues with this or with that. Okay, but the general trend, okay, of today's world is the trend of acceptance, especially in America, okay, which is fine, and that's all good. But somehow, okay, and recently there's this new thing has been sort of thrust into this group of things that we as a society should accept and embrace. Okay, and that is accepting people at whatever size that they are. Okay, now we as a society, okay, it says that this idea is that we should accept people at their size, whatever the size they are, because it's their life, and it's how they choose to live it, and it's their right. If a person wants to weigh 300 pounds, then okay, all the power to them. Let them weigh 300 pounds. We shouldn't be mean to them, which for sure we should never be mean to anybody. And we shouldn't, we should just say, hey, that's their life choice, and that's what they want to do, and call it a day. Okay, just like with all these other issues. Okay, that's what they want to do. That's how they want to live. Let them live. So, on the surface, okay, that sounds like a decent argument. It's like, well, I don't want to be a discriminator, so yeah, so I'm, whether they are a healthy body weight or morbidly obese, okay, I'm not going to discriminate anyone for any reason, and so I'm going to accept them. Okay, so fine. So again, on the surface, it sounds like somewhat of a reasonable thing to say. Okay, but if you actually look at this argument and look at what these people are asking us as a society to do, okay, it's complete lunacy. It's absolute lunacy, and it's killing people. Okay, I'll explain what I mean. Like I said, the leading cause of addiction is obesity. I mean, the leading cause of obesity is food addiction. Okay, and there's nobody who can say that that's not true. I'm not saying there's not fat people who are not food addicts, because I don't know. I'm sure there are situations, but at the end of the day, if you cannot stop eating, you get fat. And if you cannot control what you put in your mouth, you are addicted to food. It's that simple, And okay, so you're a food addict. Okay, that's fine. You know what I mean? But look, sugar's a drug. Okay, sugar's a drug. Everybody knows sugar's a drug. All the science says everybody agrees sugar is a drug. The way that it reacts in the brain is the same way that other drugs react with the brain. Okay, it gives you tons of dopamine, and people use sugar to cope. Okay, it's a drug. It is a drug. There's no question that sugar is a drug. Fine, but it's a very well accepted drug, and people are addicted to eating food and to eating sugar. Okay, people eat to overcome. I'm talking about food addicts now. They eat to overcome a craving they cannot otherwise control. Now, that doesn't, just because you give into a craving to eat a piece of chocolate cake, does that make you a food addict? No, it doesn't make you a food addict. It means that you used the drug of sugar that one time and you gave into it. A food addict is a person who cannot stop. They cannot stop, just like any other addiction, okay? They cannot stop, and it gets to the point where it starts destroying their life. And how do we see that very clearly? Is they put on an extra 150 pounds or whatever it is, okay? Obviously that destroys their body over a period of time, and they're not healthy, okay? I mean, and that is the result of food addiction. Okay, and there's different levels. You see people who are very steeped in food addiction who can't get out of their bed, and you see other people who try to manage it by this and that, by eating low sugar this and this and that. Whatever you're trying to do, some people, they just end up managing their addiction. Okay, it's like taking methadone instead of heroin. Okay, but they're still food addicts. They still need that fix of whatever it is, that food. They need it in their body. Okay, that is a food addict. Now, if you're a food addict, like I said, then you can't control what you eat or how much you eat, and maybe they're able to restrict it. That I'm only going to eat cake on the weekends, or I'm only going to have sugary foods once a week, or this or this or this or that. Okay, these are all signs of addiction. These are all signs of addiction, okay? And sugar is such a subtle foe because it's so widely accepted by society. And, just like cigarettes, by the way, okay? But people are waking up to cigarettes and realizing cigarettes such a terrible thing. So now nobody can say anymore that, hey, you have to accept the fact that I smoke cigarettes, because we're going to say, all right, look, if you want to smoke cigarettes, but don't try to pretend like you're doing anybody any favors. Don't try to pretend like it's good for you. Don't try to pretend like you're not hurting yourself, okay? If you want to do something, at least admit what you're doing is wrong. So the point of all of this is that, look, food addiction is just like any other addiction, okay? And so when we live in a world where food addicts, okay, which comes in the form of obese people, where we as a society have to be are being asked to begin to say it's okay. It's okay. Yeah, they're food addicts. Yeah, they're overweight. Yeah, like diabetes and heart attack and high blood pressure and all the things caused by obesity and food addiction is the leading cause of death in America. The number one cause of death in America is obesity, okay? Is obesity because of food addiction, because people can't stop eating and they develop all of these terrible diseases as a result. So if we're going to say love people no matter what, let them do what they want to do. Oh, they're overweight. Okay, well, let them be overweight. So why aren't we embracing crackheads? Okay, that's my question, is why aren't we embracing crackheads the same way? Okay, all they want to do is smoke crack. They want to smoke crack and they want to live in a tent. So why don't we say you cannot discriminate against the crackhead? Because so what, they're addicted to crack. So what? That's their choice. That's their life. And what they're doing is fine and it's healthy. And you, for saying that it's bad, there's something wrong with you. Could you imagine that? Could you imagine if you said, oh, crack addiction's terrible, and someone came to you and said, whoa, you can't say that. That's their life. That's how they're choosing to live. So you can't discriminate against them. You can't say anything bad about it because there's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with crack addiction. It is crazy. I mean, it's completely crazy. Okay, but we may not all be trying to go and help crack addicts and save their lives. But the point is that as a society, nobody's saying it's okay. Nobody's saying it's not a problem. We're all still in agreement that being a crackhead and addicted to crack is not okay, and it is a problem. I think everybody can agree with that. Okay? So no one says it's a healthy way to live. No one says that, no one says to the crackhead, hey, crackhead, don't worry what other people think. Just keep living your best life and forget about all the haters because, they're just whatever. Nobody says that to the crackhead because they realize this is a person who has a serious problem and is endangering their life. So if you ask anybody's opinion, they're going to say, get off the crack and fix your life. They're not going to say, oh, well, hey, actually, yeah, you're a crackhead, but let's learn to love and embrace crackheads, and anybody who doesn't embrace you, well, there's something wrong with them. They are the ones who have the problem because they should be loving and accepting of everybody no matter what. And okay, but that's craziness because that kills people. When you start telling crackheads, or let's use the example we're actually talking about, when you start telling food addicts, it's okay to be whatever weight. It's okay to give in to your food addiction. It's okay. Don't worry about losing weight. Don't worry about trying to get healthy. Body beautification, intuitive eating. Okay, these are all just code words for food addiction rationalization. Okay, and then what happens is people keep eating and they keep being obese, and instead of trying to change it, because they realize it's a problem, they plug themselves into these groups that say, be whatever size you want. It doesn't matter. You're all good. You can be 500 pounds and healthy. I mean, it's craziness, okay? My issue is like, obviously, look, nobody should be bullying anybody, okay? So I'm not supporting saying negative things to anybody. Just like you see a crackhead, you shouldn't say to the crackhead, hey, like there's something wrong with you, like as in you're a bad person and blah blah blah, and start putting them down. No, you should. But what you should do, if you're in that situation, you should say, well, I'd love to help you, and you have a problem. I'd love to help you, and you have a problem. So why is it with food addiction? Don't we say that? Why isn't the narrative always, well, we would love to help you because you have a problem? No, it's become, well, you're good exactly how you are. You don't have a problem. You don't have a problem. That is what society wants us to say. Love everybody at every size really means they don't have a problem. Okay? But they do have a problem. Now, and the more and more that we as a society are trying to push this, accept everybody at every size, we're taking away from the fact that there's a serious problem that's killing people. And now it's too easy for heavy people, for fat people, just like myself, like I said at the beginning of the video, 300 pounds, too easy to just get into this whole zone of everything's okay, body beautification, love your body as it is, everything's good. And then they die of heart attacks, and they get diabetes type 2, and they get high blood pressure, and they get types of cancer that are caused from an unhealthy body, and you get all these issues, because they are unable to face their food addiction, and now they have a whole group of people who are protecting them from ever facing their addiction, okay? So yes, I say that food addiction is killing people, and the message that we should accept people at every size is killing people even more, okay? I mean, it just doesn't make any sense to me. Again, if we won't, I mean, for me, if we're not going to accept other addictions, okay, like cigarettes, okay, do we accept cigarettes? No. Okay, a guy wants to smoke a cigarette, a girl smokes cigarettes. Okay, let them smoke their cigarettes. But we're not going to say to them, hey, what you're doing is fine. We're not going to say to them, like, it's healthy what you're doing. We're going to say, like, you're killing yourself. You're slowly killing yourself. Why don't we say that with food? Because we don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. We don't want to hurt their feelings. Okay, but while people are dying, we don't want to hurt their feelings. Okay, it just doesn't make any sense. And so I'm not saying don't love anybody and don't love yourself. Everybody should love themselves where they are. What I'm saying is don't make something that's a problem and pretend that it's not. Okay, that's the key here. Okay, because look, most people today are food addicts. Okay. And just because society says it's okay to keep eating and just keep loving your body, we think it's okay. But it's not. It's not okay. It's not okay to be addicted to food to the point that you are overweight, which is causing you health issues. Okay? Now, the whole thing here is that this message, it kills the fight. Okay? It kills the fight. A person may be 300 pounds like I was, and be working their whole life to try to lose that weight, okay? Which I agree, the mainstream media and the mainstream diet and weight loss options are not good, That's why at the end of this video, I'll just say now, if anybody is interested in how I lost weight or what I've done, call me or message me, whatever. I'll tell you for free, no charge, okay? I'll tell you for free what my solution was. So, but the point is that it's not okay. It's not okay to push this message that food addiction is not a problem and that obesity is okay. Because what happens is people go to these groups and they go to these places or whatever, these movements where this is happening, and they stop fighting. They stop fighting, okay? It means they stop trying to be better, because they can accept their situation finally. So again, just to use the crackhead as the example, the crackhead who's a crackhead for 20 years, but every day he knows that what he's doing is wrong. Well, at least he has a chance of getting sober. But as soon as that crackhead is confirmed and believes that what I'm doing is right, what I'm doing is not a problem, so now that crackhead will never get sober and he will die. Okay? So too with food addiction. Okay? If we as a society begin to convince these people that are overweight that what they're doing is fine and it's not wrong and it's not a problem, then they will stop fighting. They will accept their situation as it is. They'll accept their food addiction and they will keep eating and they will die much sooner. Now, so this is the thinking that is killing people, and it's keeping people sick, and it's keeping people stuck in their addiction. That we're trying to accept people at every size. Okay, the message should be: don't bully people, don't be mean to people, no matter what. But don't say that it's not a problem. Don't say that what they're doing is not hurting themselves. Don't say that, because it's not true. It's not true. It's just not true. Now, then, of course, you have the issue, which is the odds are stacked against you, okay? Just like with any other addiction. The chances of you coming out of your addiction are less than the chances of you overcoming your addiction, okay? So what happens is you have people who are overweight who they first of all, don't admit they're food addicts because no one is really talking about food addiction as it's such a prevalent thing. Okay, so they say, well, you're sort of overweight, so they go to Weight Watchers or they go to this diet they found wherever, and of course the diets don't work because they're food addicts and they have no discipline when it comes to eating healthy, and they have probably zero to no experience with working out, so that doesn't. Not much happens with that. And again, they can't stop eating. And if they do stop eating for a short period of time, then they just binge eat again because they're food addicts and they can't control themselves. So the real issue is, how do you solve the food addiction? You see, that's the solution to these diets. It's not, at the end of the day, solve the food addiction. Solve the food addiction. That's how you lose the weight. Okay, that's how I lost the weight. That's how anybody who lost weight probably lost and kept the weight off, by the way. Okay, you can lose weight and be a food addict and then 1 year later blow up again because you never really got rid of the addiction. Like, okay, a lot of people probably heard of The Biggest Loser, that TV show where they lose all this weight. Okay, have you ever seen a Biggest Loser reunion show? No, you haven't. Why? Because they all gain the weight back. Because all they're doing is they're saying eat less and exercise way more. Well, when you're in a controlled environment, like, for example, a drug addict in rehab, well, it's not as hard to control your addiction because you're in an environment that supports like conducive eating or a conducive way of life, and they're not. And so you could go when you're on The Biggest Loser, and you could be under the control of all these people who are watching you, and the nation's watching you and everything. So yeah, in that case, they can restrict their food addiction a bit, and they're forced to work out and everything, and they have this big incentive for this cash prize or whatever. But when they leave, they gain the weight back. Now, part of that's due because the diet's garbage anyway, and it slows their metabolism. So when they go back and they start eating normal again, they just gain weight back because okay, so it's true, the diets are also stacked against us, and they're not built for long-term weight loss, but there are solutions out there which, if anybody's interested, send me a message and I'll tell you exactly what I did, and I'll help you every step of the way, because for fun and for free. Because it's like, for me, I obviously have a personal investment into this whole thing, because I, as somebody who made it out, who every day, has to make sure I'm eating healthy and I'm not giving into my food addiction, and I'm not stuffing sugar and random food down, and I'm doing it in a healthy way and all of those things. So I'm constantly watching myself on that, because it's something that could happen again if I'm not vigilant. Again, just like with any other addiction. But as soon as we say it's not a problem, I've lost the fight. And once I have lost the fight, it's over. It's over. You stay fat the rest of your life, or you stay a crackhead the rest of your life, or you stay a cigarette smoker the rest of your life, or whatever addiction that you have. So, look, it's not easy. it's not easy to admit that there is a problem and that we don't have a solution, or in terms a personal solution. For me to say, hey, I'm 300 pounds and I got there because I can't control my eating, and the reason I can't lose weight is because I can't stop eating. Why do people get fat? Because they can't stop eating. Why can't they stop eating? Because they're food addicts. And so you need to address the food addiction. You can have great discipline in all areas of life, except when it comes to food. If that's your addiction, you can have great discipline in all areas of life, except when it comes to controlling your smoking, or when it comes to controlling your drinking or your gambling, just like any other addiction, okay? But only a broken vessel lets in light, okay? Until a person's willing to break their vessel and say, I can't do this, I have a problem, I need help, only then can they begin to ever hope of making any progress. But if they're now being sucked into these groups that say, no, you don't have a problem, everything's fine, be whatever weight you want, eat how you want, yeah, try to eat a little bit healthier, but yeah, you're fine at any size, don't worry. And if anybody tries to tell you that it's not good, well, they're a-holes and there's something wrong with them. No, it is complete and utter just lies, and it's killing people, okay? And again, everybody would agree with me if this was a crackhead, or if this was we're talking about cigarettes or anything. No one's going to say it's not a problem, okay? So at the end of this video, I just want to clarify again. I'm not saying that we should be mean to anybody for any reason. No. We should love everybody around us, and we should love ourselves as well. But we should never stop. If something's not good, saying it's good doesn't make it good. It just allows us to keep doing it without feeling bad, okay? And don't and don't lose weight because it's like, nobody's losing weight at the end of the day because of other people. Like, I hear this argument all the time, like, well, the only reason you want to lose weight is because you care about what other people think. It's like, no, I care about what I think. I like myself better when I'm healthy, when I can walk up a flight of stairs without getting out of breath, when I can pick up a decent amount of weight, when I can fit into the clothes that I like because they don't make them in triple XL. Okay, I like that because that's what makes me happy, okay? And just to say, well, I'm not doing this because I don't care what other people think. Like, I'm overweight and I don't care what other people think, and I'm not going to lose weight just to please other people. That's a lie. That's a complete lie. And the lie is that it's never about what other people think. It's never been about what other people think, okay? Sure, like, there's a lot of people who are like very concerned about looking good for other people. But when you're obese, okay, it's about yourself. It's about being comfortable in your own body and being healthy in your own body and not worrying about diabetes type 2 and a heart attack around the corner and high blood sugar and high blood pressure and blah, 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 blah. Okay? That is about your own personal development as a person and loving yourself. Okay? How can you love yourself if you treat your body like garbage and you allow it to continue to be unhealthy? How? It's just one of those things. These are one of the things that a person who loves themselves truly will do, is they're going to take care of their body, okay? And when society starts telling you that you can treat your body like trash and that's okay, don't stand behind it. Don't agree with it. Don't let other people allow you to rationalize you destroying your own body, okay? Because they will, so that they can continue to destroy theirs. Like, the lengths people will go to not admit that they're food addicts and that they have a problem and that they need to stop eating and they need to get some help is unbelievable. I mean, we have movements that are being born just so people don't have to face their real problem, okay? So, again, I don't believe that the mainstream diet world has any real solutions to this, because all they really want to do is to take your money. Okay, and look, I mean, you see like how desperate drug addicts are. Look how much money is being made in the treatment world because they're preying off addiction. People cannot help themselves. So we're going to offer you a magical solution to help you. Okay, people can't stop eating. We're going to give you a magic this, a magic this, a magic this. And so, of course, people buy into it because people know how helpless they are. So now when you start presenting this information of, hey, you're not actually helpless. Actually, everything's fine, and it's okay to be any size, and it's okay to do everything. And yeah, go and exercise for 5-10 minutes a day and exercise in a way that doesn't actually change anything. Or eat, intuitively, but you're not actually losing weight. You're still gaining weight. No, don't go the real way. Work hard. I mean, that's the answer. Work hard. Put in the effort. Admit you have a problem, okay? Because that's how problems get solved, by admitting that there is one. Once you begin to pretend there's no problem, the problem never gets solved. It only gets worse. It's basic stuff. So my challenge to anybody listening to this is be willing to embrace your issues. Be willing to embrace them, okay? Thank God that we are alive today, that we can continue to make ourselves better. I mean, the whole joy in life is getting to that next place where we're a little bit better than we were yesterday, And so for anyone who is honest with themselves and who is interested in becoming more healthy and is into self-analyzation, I highly suggest you look at whether or not this is a problem that you have, and whether or not you are letting other people dictate or influence you on this issue, Because if you have the problem, don't let people tell you don't. Okay? Don't let people stop you from living your best life. Don't let people kill you because you would like to believe their message that everything's fine and you're okay. No, it's not good. It's not good. Save yourself. Save yourself. Admit what's going on and save yourself. It's not going to be easy. For sure, it's not going to be easy. You see the failure rates among people trying to lose weight, and among the people who did lose weight, the people who kept it off is even lower. But isn't that a sign that there's a problem? Does that mean that when you get fat, it's like, well, I just magically got fat and, it's like now I can't lose the weight? No, you got fat because you were a food addict and you couldn't stop eating, and now your addiction is so powerful that you can't control yourself, and without help, you're going to keep gaining and gaining weight until you have further and further health risks. It's your choice. Decide what's true for you. This is all my opinion, okay? But I believe it to be true. So enjoy, everybody. I hope you found it to be a good video, and see you later.